individual that I provide supports to actually is with Horizon House. So I was sort of getting bubbly, sitting back, I was getting ready to grab my orange juice, but I'll grab that later on. When Steve was just up here talking about the name change, I was happy to hear that, Steve. In fact, I sit on the Human Service Committee in Harrisburg, and I just want to share with you that even the simplest thing, or what we think sometimes is the simplest thing of changing a name, is not really the simplest thing. I can tell you that in committee, that it was not a unanimous vote to change the name, to bring it to the House floor for a vote. And what that means is that we had some folks, legislators, who argued against changing the name. And some of the rationales were, oh, it's going to cost too much money. Other folks said, well, what does it mean? Does it really matter? And I think that as I look around today, and as Steve was talking, and he talked about changing the name, you know, just seeing some of the heads nod and the applause, it says to me that it does matter. And so I think that it's important that you, as a collective body, make sure that you continue to have your voices heard, because we represent you, we represent the thousands, the millions of you across this Commonwealth. And if it doesn't really come from you, where's it gonna really come from? So just please keep that in mind. It makes a difference, you make a difference. And that wasn't really part of my speech, but that was just something I had to insert because it is a big thing, and we just recently passed that on the House floor. So thank you, Steve, for bringing that to the attention. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Now, this is part of my speech, okay? But first and foremost, I want to thank the committee for putting together such a great event. As I was coming up the steps, you know, I'm like, I thought we were down at a hotel somewhere, and I said, do they have a room big enough? But this is evidently truly big enough, and it's just great to see everybody here this morning. I also want to congratulate the honorees. As I was looking at the list, in fact, can we give the honorees another round of applause? And for me, when I think about even part of my past, you know, and I just talked about Horizon House, but it didn't begin there for me. You know, it started back in the neighborhood, working at a small camp in the area. But then it also allowed me to travel through Woodhaven Center. Is anybody from Woodhaven used to work at Woodhaven? Come on, y'all. I mean, I know it's closed. Well, it's not closed. All right, I see in the back. Then my travels took me to Kencrest. I know Ken. Come on, y'all. Kencrest is here. I did part-time at Spin. But I didn't put it on my resume. All right, but I still work there, okay? Jebs, of course. Is Jebs here? Oh! And we worked together in Jebs too, right? And of course it ended at Horizon House, but I shouldn't say it ended. But I'm not saying it ended there, because if I don't get reelected, I'm gonna have to get back into the field, y'all. So just all those agencies that I mentioned, keep me in mind. Keep me in mind for the future. But in all sincerity, I also want to thank each and every one of you, because each and every one of you care. You show it through your support. You show it through your commitment towards helping other individuals to have a better quality of life. Today is a day to celebrate and recognize the efforts of each of you present and those that were not able to be here this morning. Today, we salute direct support professionals and support coordinators. For when you think about it, your work really knows no boundaries. You know, you can easily be found at residential homes, day programs, medical appointments, sporting events when the money allows me to go to those sporting events, medical appointments, and even at the hospital. Is this too much feedback? It might be something that I'm carrying on me, because, you know, when you're in the state, you gotta carry all this metal stuff with you just to be safe. Let me take everything out of my pocket. No, I'm just joking. So, but listen, you guys are really at the hospitals at all times of the day, at any given hour, providing assistance to individuals in need of support. Today is a day we bring greater awareness, understanding, and appreciation to those of you that have made personal sacrifices, giving of your time, your skills, and on occasions, even even giving up your personal finances to ensure that those you care for have a greater quality of life. When you think about it, 40 years ago, the type of life that folks are living today was unimaginable, and in some cases, even unobtainable. We celebrate the work that you do 365 days a year. Cindy, y'all are in council how many days a week? Once? Can you take a 3-month break? All right, I'm sorry. All right, I got it. All right, I'm just listen. She said that she could treat me like a brother, so I got to come back at her like that, right? But when you compare that work, 365 days a year, and folks, that include weekends, which city council don't work, holidays, I'll stop there, Cindy. Somebody's wedding, somebody's birthday, you name the day, and I guarantee you that a direct care worker or direct support professional is working on that day. We should not, and we cannot, sum up all the work that you do in one day at one breakfast. For you few are the true life changers. You change the lives of many. You are our everyday heroes. And we somehow, now Cindy, this part is for you though, because you and I are elected officials, we somehow must find a way to compensate you for the work that you do. Legislators in Harrisburg must understand the importance of the work that you do and provide the necessary funding and resources to assist you in your work. Some of us get it. I mean, some of us really do value your efforts. Some of us really do value you as human beings. You know, in the United States, there are 820 different job classifications. And there's probably going to be more because they keep adding on something, they invent something every single year, but there's about 828, and that list is growing. But when we think about those job classifications, few can compare to the compassion, the commitment, and the dedication that is displayed by direct support professionals and support coordinators. In fact, think back for a second. You know, we all went through this process. We were either in elementary school, we're at home, and as young kids, somebody somewhere said to us, what do you want to be when you grow up? At least somebody said it to me. I think they said it to a few of you also. But think about it. Did anybody raise their hand and simply say, I want to be a direct support professional or a support coordinator? Did your hand go up? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought your hand went up. I think you were just adjusting glasses. Okay. But when you think about that, I mean, like, none of us said that. But when you think about the work that you're doing right here today, everybody can't do what you do. It takes a special person with a special heart, a special characteristic to do the work that you do. I want to share with you a brief story, and I'm going to ask my good friend, Deborah Rowell, not to say anything because Deb heard this before. We started off at Woodhaven Center, then we both transitioned to Kincrest. So this is actually a true story. Wanda, you might have heard this also in our work at Kincrest, but I'm not sure. But this is a true story that I shared with folks throughout my process and throughout my growth. I was a college student at Westchester graduating, and I had a daughter, and I needed a job. So a gentleman who ran track with me came up to me, you know, we're seniors, we're excited to be graduating, and we're gonna get out in the world and make a change. So this guy said to me, hey man, what you gonna do? And I said, I don't know, my degree's in teaching, I'll probably go teach. Teaching was paying $16,000 at the time. I remember this. This was 1981. You can look it up if you want to. $16,000. And he said to me, well, Temple University has this program called the Woodhaven Center. And he said, they have openings. And I said, wow, I think I'm gonna apply for a job there. I mean, I needed to work, folks. I needed some money. And so I turned to him and said, are you going to apply for the job? And this guy said to me, and this is his actual words, I mean, it's like it's embedded in my mind, and so I hope it does not offend anybody what I'm about to say, but this is just simply the mindset. back in the early 80s. This gentleman said to me, I did not go to college to get a college degree to wipe somebody's behind. And my response was, well, I can't say the exact words because some of the language wasn't appropriate. But I said, OS, I'm going to apply for the job. And I applied for the job. I was hired at Woodhaven Center. Within 13 months, I became a supervisor. Well, guess who I saw applying for a job 13 months later? And I share that story because, I put it out there. I went to HR and I simply said, hey, did such and such apply for the job? And they said, yeah. I said, let me tell you a story. Now, don't think I'm a bad guy, but the reality of it is that, like I said, everybody can't do what you do. And we recognize that folks can change over a period of time, but if somebody had the attitude that this job was just about wiping butts, would you really want them working beside you? Would you really want them working for your organization? I can't tell you what that guy is doing now, but I can tell you at the end of the story that he wasn't hired at Woodhaven Center. So the moral of my story is that not everyone is built to do the work that you do. It takes a special person with a special heart to do what you do. In closing, what I'd like to do is read to you House Resolution 1042 as it was introduced on the House floor. So this is the actual transcript of what was read, and I'm going to try to read it like we do on TV because we have the TV cameras there, and you're on TV and you're in the House of Representatives. It's this real nice place. And so it goes like this. And if you saw the video, I might change some of the words, but don't worry about it, okay? It's still the saving grace. And we use these fancy terms, all right, let's not, but we use these fancy terms when we talk also in there. You don't just say, hey, what's up, y'all, and this and that. We have to talk in its proper terms in King's English. And it goes like this. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the fine folks of this chamber for their unanimous support of House Resolution 1042. And we say it like we mean it too, right? This resolution recognizes the thousands of direct support professionals and support coordinators across the Commonwealth who have made a commitment to assist and support individuals with intellectual disabilities, mental illnesses, and those with chronic medical conditions. Direct support professionals and support coordinators provide services around the clock and in a multitude of settings, working to help improve the quality of life for individuals who may not have the abilities to do so themselves. While working, these professionals may be engaged in tasks such as bathing, feeding, shopping, and assisting on medical appointments, assisting individuals in completing daily routines that sometimes may be taken for granted. Mr. Speaker, these professionals do not do the work they do for the fame or the fortune. They do this type of work because they are dedicated, committed, and because they care about our fellow human beings. And for these and many more reasons, it is my distinct privilege to honor these professionals by designating September 30th, 2014 as Direct Support Professionals and Support Coordinators Day in Pennsylvania. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to all of you.